President Trump putting the Iran terror regime on notice, warning, quote, if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first.
Meanwhile, CENTCOM revealing Iran's grip on Hormuz has been severely degraded in the strikes against its major missile facilities.
Retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery joining us now. Admiral, thank you for taking time this morning. Let's go right to the clock ticking with the president's threat of striking the power plants. Walk that out for us. What do things look like? Where are we headed?
Thanks. I think Central Command Admiral Cooper would tell you we're on track. He and the Israelis had a 4 to 5 week combined air plan. They've executed strikes against, more than 10,000 targets at this point. I'm sure they're doing some re-attacking and some new attacking. And the president is highlighting that the critical infrastructure of Iran, which is undoubtedly on that target list, will be prioritized if they continue to block Straits of Hormuz access. And I'll tell you, we are beginning to make a big dent in the things that threaten us within the Straits of Hormuz when we eventually do convoy operations.
There's a sort of competing theories right now. One is that things are escalating, and the other, President Trump has even used the term winding down. What is your hunch right now? What does your gut tell you is going on right now? Are we escalating or are we winding down?
In any 4 or 5 week, large air campaign like this, there'll be days with, 30 to 40% more strikes than the day before. Any day where we use heavy bomber usage is going to have a lot more strikes that day because of the number of weapons they carry. What I really think is we're on a very persistent, campaign plan to get rid of their missiles, not just today, but their ability to produce them in the future. Drones, not just today, but their ability to build them in the future. Same with the nuclear power, air defense, and maritime programs. It just takes a while to do it. So I think we're going up and down. I think the president tends to get a brief and speaks right from what he saw, but it is a natural campaign plan. And I think Admiral Cooper and his team have done a very good job planning this.
I want you to look at the negotiation points that have been laid down. So number one, no missile program for 5 years. Number two, zero uranium enrichment. Number three, decommission the Natanz, Isfahan and Fordow nuclear facilities. Number four, observation protocols for nuclear weapons program-related machinery. Number five, arms control treaties with regional countries and capping missiles at 1,000. Number six, no financing for proxies such as Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthis in Yemen, or Hamas in Gaza. Do these look like points that we could actually come to agreement on with whoever it is that is left in charge in Iran? And we'll just start with that.
Yeah, thanks. Militarily, we can impose 4 of those straight constraints on our own. I think these are the right constraints. You may not have regime change, but you're going to have a significant change in how the regime can act, how it can terrorize its Arab neighbors, Israel, and U.S. national interest. So these are 6 good points. I don't think they should be negotiable, and I think we can impose most of them by military action, and the ones we can't, we can pressure them into choice.
Can you accomplish these without putting boots on the ground?
I do think you could do this without boots on the ground. You can't get regime change without boots on the ground, but I think you can get a change in how the regime acts without boots on the ground. And I do think you can open up the Straits of Hormuz without boots on the ground. That one's probably the closest run one, but I still think we can do that. And we certainly don't need to seize Kharg Island to stop Kharg Island from being functional.
If the Iranian regime does not open the Straits of Hormuz within the deadline that President Trump has set, and President Trump goes through and follows through with his threat to take out their power plant, what do you expect them to do in retaliation? Or do you think this will make them back out and go, okay, now we need to negotiate? Or will it escalate? And if it escalates, what do you predict they will do?
So I do think they'll respond. I hope we don't hit their nuclear power plant. We can hit a lot of power plants and transformers to take away power, particularly from their military and their industrial capacities. Try our best to leave power going to hospitals and things. And I wouldn't hit their nuclear power plant only because I think that their attempt to then do the same to Israel would, because they wouldn't have the precision we have, might create unexpected impacts. So from my perspective, this is we're going to get a response if we do this. But we've been getting responses to every strike, but the responses are getting less and less, and we're developing better defensive capabilities over the last week or so with assistance from the Ukrainians.
And as you point out, Admiral, we don't know what the response will be, but hopefully it will not involve these now 4,000-kilometer reaching intermediate range ballistic missiles, which no one knew they had. Now they do. It's a very dangerous time indeed. Rear Admiral Montgomery, thank you for taking time.